Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the Note Closer Show. We are excited. Go Cubs, go. First time in 108 years the Cubs have won the World Series and are World Series champions. What an amazing game last night. What an amazing game. But this isn't SportsCenter. This isn't Fox Sports. This isn't Carl Ravitch wearing a pink jacket to the World Series game. Okay? This is Note Closer Show. So what can you win? What can you understand from a winning World Series team? Well, it didn't happen overnight. That's the biggest thing with everybody is you have to realize that a winning team is put together over years. Rizzo was drafted 6 years ago. Bryant was drafted 4 years ago. Theo Epstein came on a few years back to really rechange the culture of the Cubs. And that's ultimately, it happened in phases. Now, that didn't stop him from playing ball. And that's why this episode is titled Kill the Ducks, okay? So many note investors, so many entrepreneurs, so many real estate investors are scared to dive into the pool, okay? Yes, we have water behind us here. We're actually outside tonight of the office of We Close Notes. So many of us, well, I won't say us because I don't want to include myself in there, but so many new people, they worry about getting their little ducks in a row, you know? They got to get their, oh my God, I got to get my website done. Oh, and I got to get my LLC together. I gotta get all my social media stuff up and running. I gotta have my business cards look good. I gotta take this other class on asset protection before I do anything. And that's not what you want to do. You don't want to wait to get your ducks in a row because honestly, everybody, all your ducks are never going to be in a row immediately. It takes time to get them in a row. So what you do is you focus on getting one thing done. All right? But taking action at the same time. All right? Don't sit around waiting for everything to be perfect before you act, because what happens with those types of individuals, they miss out. They end up waiting so long and then buying real estate or deals at the peak of the market versus the time that it makes sense, which is like right now or at the bottom of the market. I got to make sure everything's perfect before I do anything. You can't do that, especially as a note investor and as a real estate investor. You have to take action and do it now. You don't get your degree, you don't get your associates, you don't get everything by doing everything at once, waiting until everything is perfect. No, you take it in waves, okay? That's what you have to look like. In today's market, you're gonna be totally different than you are in a year from now, as long as you're taking action. But we often see so many investors never take action. They just go to class, to class, to class, or to a different workshop, or take somebody else's course because they never take action and they never implement what they learn. So really they waste time, they waste money, they waste energy waiting on everything to be perfect. And we all know life is not perfect, okay? Life is a crapshoot sometimes. It is full of potholes and strikeouts and getting beamed and giving up the winning home run to somebody else sometimes. It is what it is. You just have to keep in mind, everybody, if you keep failing forward, you're gonna do fine. I mean, look at last night's game. The fastest pitcher couldn't get anybody out last night for the most part. He came in early, was worn out, couldn't perform, and his teammates had to pick him up and make things happen. And that often happens in note investing. You have to keep in mind that you want to surround yourself with like-minded ducks, but get stuff done versus waiting to do everything yourself, okay? And so I think that's the biggest thing today. I know so many people out there are trying to get things in order, and for everybody it's a different order, okay? Some things come easier to others when other things are harder for some people, and that's okay. That's unlike the guy from freaking Saturday Night Live. Obviously we all have a list of things that we want to accomplish, okay? This comes down to, and I have another philosophy called the law of unfinished bridges, as we're about to get in a rain delay here. There's a thing called the law of unfinished bridges. If you're here, actually, you're standing over here on a cliff, and over here, beyond this chasm is where you want to be, the goal, your ultimate goal of real estate, closing deals, making money, okay? But we can't just jump off because we don't have things put in place. We don't have any bridges, rope bridges or suspension bridges or the Golden Gate Bridge between there. You have this deep chasm. So what a lot of people try to do is they try to build bridges to get across, but they only get halfway across before they start something else. They start their LinkedIn profile. I only get halfway through it. I'm starting my Facebook profile. I got to go to this other class. And I got to do this other things. There's like 70, 80 different bridges that we all build as entrepreneurs. But if we don't finish any of them, we just waste money and never get across to where we want to be. So today, if you are sitting there struggling with your ducks in a row, I want you to take your ducks, I want you to set them free, okay? I want you to pick out one duck, keep it, and take the other one and just throw it into the river, okay? I don't know if they're hidden behind me or what.
They're in the water.
Oh, they're in the water, okay? Because you're only going to be able to finish one duck at a time, okay? So set the other ones out to pasture, okay? Take the other ones and put it on the side and focus on one duck, okay? Just one measly duck. Because that's all you're actually going to ever be able to succeed is one duck, one deal at a time initially. Until you build some experience and make things happen. And once you get that duck floating, going down the river or crossing that bridge, you can bring another duck back in to help you succeed. So if there's any questions, any comments on stuff, people cracking up at me setting the ducks free,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. One of the great things about last night's game is I remember as a young friend, a young boy, I've always been a big baseball fan, and I grew up with a buddy of mine, Brian Sipp, who is from Chicago, diehard Cubs fan. He actually lived with us for a little while after high school, and I remember him coming home and us sitting up late at night, literally going through baseball cards. He had a whole binder full of just every Cubs player he could find, and I am a bigger San Francisco Giants fan, the Cubs are my second favorite team besides the Twins, so it was nice last night seeing it happen. We all have dreams. You think about 108 years, all the people that had dreams of watching the Cubs win the World Series, and it never happened. And last night in the stands, you had people crying, hugging strangers, jumping up and down, going crazy in Cleveland. I think there was actually more Cubs fans than Indians fans in the stands in Cleveland last night. Think about that, guys. You have an opportunity to help your dreams accomplish something and make your dreams come true. Whatever that dream might be. Maybe it's to make money. Maybe it's to leave your job. Maybe it's to retire your spouse. Maybe it's to put your kids through school. Maybe it's to retire your parents. Maybe it's to live in a bigger house. Maybe it's to travel more across the country. It's totally up to you. You have the capability of doing it. You just got to do it one duck at a time. Because one duck will eventually lead to being able to do two ducks. And two ducks will eventually lead to three ducks and four ducks. But don't try to tackle the whole herd of ducks at a time because you'll never catch any of them. So, Scott Carson here from the Note Closers Group. Setting our ducks free. Don't kill them. Just go get them done. One duck at a time, everybody. And we'll see you guys at the top.